Alright, so what in the heck is this guy? Well, this is a GameBoy Test Cartridge. To the camera there. So this is sent to be courtesy of Jayro. I believe that's how you say his name. If I butchered it, I do apologize. But this is a Game Boy Test cartridge designed to replace the Nintendo official cartridge that was released. It's able to test the functionality, hardware functionality of original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, as well as Game Boy Advance consoles or handhelds. So this is the physical cartridge. This is made entirely in GB or Game Boy Studio, which is really cool. The ROM is available for free. You can download it through itch.io, I think is how you say it. I'll leave a link to download the ROM in the description down below. So if you want to put it on your own cartridge, you can do so. Or if you want to test it on an emulator to see what it's all about, again, you can do so. The ROM and the cartridge, updated production of the cartridge, I believe, will be released. That'll add functionality, I believe, to Super Gameboy, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, it has limited functionality for Super Gameboy, is my understanding. Now, I won't be showing you footage of it being a Super Gameboy, just because there's not a whole lot of support for it. But I will be showing you its functionality in both the Game Boy Advance and a Game Boy Color. So again, this is a physical cartridge. This is available for purchase in a physical cartridge form from Jayro, and again, I'll leave a description to purchase down below. Just understand that these are not going to be shipped out just yet. They are on back order, so just so you know that is a thing that's happening right now. As with a lot of other things, due to the current events and everything. But yeah, so let's go and pop this into the Game Boy and let's check it out. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop it into my Game Boy Color here. There's the cartridge. I'm going to take out Donkey Kong. Yeah, I know it doesn't have a back battery cover. I got this for $1, so I mean I can't complain. Alright, so let's say that I was purchasing this from like an expo, right? Or those nowadays, or like a yard sale. So I'm gonna pop the cartridge in, provided that I have batteries with me. Oh yeah, so let's put batteries in it, put the test cartridge in it. So here you've got the LCD test, you've got the sound test, scroll test, and the button test. So LCD menu test menu. So you have a dead pixel test, a main menu option, test grid, and pixel shift. So we had a dead pixel test. This test will help diagnose any stuck or dead LCD pixels. Left and right changes color. A to begin. Press B to exit. So you can test for dead pixels. And again, I'll show this to you on a GBA. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's go ahead and just pop it into GBA now, because it's a lot easier to see. Okay, so I'm going to take out Final Fantasy. Great game, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in here. Yeah, see, Game Boy Advance cartridge would be much, much slimmer. Hopefully this thing's charged. Okay. Alright, so you've got, again, LCD test, so we're going to go ahead and just open that up. Alright, so we're going to do the dead pixel test. Show you how that works. So you can test for dead pixels. Okay, and we're going to do test grid. This test will draw a screen grid, and you navigate it using the D-pad. So there you go. There's that test. And then you've got the pixel shift. Select. This test will alternate pixels rapidly for 10 seconds, then quit. Press it to begin. It's going to do that for a full 10 seconds, I think. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright, so I wanted to do a sound test. This test will play a sound to test your headphone jack or speakers. You only know the speaker works. Alright. And we're going to do a scroll test. This test will have scrolling patterns move across the screen. I'm assuming it's used to test for like screen tearing, things like that. Also be a good way to test like if there's any like screen degradation or like screen rot. Alright, so last test here is the button test. This test will have you test each button one at a time. So you got up, down, left, right, B, A, start, select. Okay, and actually this looks a little bit different, I think, on here than it does on, yeah, it does, I think, than on the Game Boy Color. I don't have a Game Boy original to show you, otherwise I would. But let's open up the button test real quick. I like the intro, that's pretty cool. Alright, button test. Okay, never mind. So I guess it, well, no, I'm sorry. I guess it is the same. It just looked different on the other screen. Alright, so all my buttons work. Now before, I actually had to clean this up a bit. Before you had to press really hard on the start button, and the select button didn't even work. And the right button didn't work all that well either. But I was able to tear it apart and clean it up a bit. And all the buttons, as you can see, are now working. The only thing that doesn't work on this is the speaker. And then it shows you to hold left, hit start, press A to exit. But yeah, the only thing that doesn't work is the sound test. See? That's all the way up. You can't hear anything on the speaker. Speaker's dead. I gotta replace the speaker. But yeah, so this has been the test cartridge. Pretty neat. So yeah, if you have an expo you're going to, if you have the art sale you're going to, and you find a Game Boy or a Game Boy Advance or original Game Boy, and you're like, hey, I wonder if all the buttons work. You can purchase one of these cartridges, bring it with you, bring a set of batteries, and you have a way to test the Game Boy and see if it's something you want to purchase. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Alright, so I thank Jayro for sending the cartridge my way. It's a really awesome cartridge. Really glad I have it. Very handy to have. Yeah, that's been a look at the cartridge. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. If you want a copy for yourself, again, link to purchase the cartridge will be in the description down below. If you want to check out the ROM free of charge, I will leave a link to the itch page for the ROM, so you can test that out and check that out. And again, I want to thank Jayro for sending this my way. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. As always, till next time. Take care and happy gaming.